It's only the second time this season that they've had 8, 9 and 10 for the start of the game.
Danny Brough gets us underway then, and that's a good kick-off. It went in front of Lance O'Hire, it bounced very awkwardly, and it was a good job for the Saints that John Wilkin was the first to react, and a good job for the Saints that the ball bounced in the direction that it did.
Interesting to see that, Eddie, that Paul Anderson in that build-up to this game, he said that all I have to do is to really just explain to the players, remember, you've just become a bad side overnight. It's just a matter of how they played at the start of the season, try to get their confidence. But that doesn't surprise me. They do it all the time. Saints kicking early in the tackle count, and look at the chase. They're down there to hammer them, and they normally do.
Greg Eden couldn't get away from the 10-metre line, despite the fact that he picked it up on his own line. The St Helens charge had arrived. They're playing in their traditional white jerseys, white shorts, white socks with the red V down the front tonight, St Helens. And the Huddersfield Giants, of course, in their away kit, this grey kit. And Mike Rush, very anxious that his team gets to Old Trafford to yet another grand final. Will he make it 7 in a row this year? He is a self-confessed St Helens fanatic.
But
all his family are as well.
Yeah, you can't write them off, Eddie. It's as simple as that. And we just saw a pretty good, strong run by Earl Crabtree. The responsibility of being the captain tonight rests on his shoulders, but he can lead by example. Danny Brough got a good kick away, split the fullback and the winger.
And Makinson takes charge of it, the ball bouncing between himself and Wellens. Good chase led by Robinson and David Farlongo. So they're spirited tonight, there's no doubt about that, the Huddersfield Giants. And their first tackle there in Huddersfield colours for Brett Ferris, wearing number 36.
I think, Eddie, there is some hope for Huddersfield here tonight, because St Helens, although we know they've won the last 5 games, their last match in particular was both a physically and emotionally draining event. They went to the south of France, had to hang on with the last minutes down to 12 men only in defence, and there's a potential that that's taken quite a lot out of the tank. But I just didn't feel that the body language with which Huddersfield came onto this field really made you think that they believe themselves they're going to win.
Last tackle for St Helens here, so off the boot of Wilkin, high off the left boot and into the sunshine. Eden just shielded his eyes and collected it, did well actually there. Greg Eden back at full-back. He was on the wing against Wakefield last week. There's been a lot of chopping and changing going on at Huddersfield since that great start to the season. The biggest change, of course, the change of coach. Paul Anderson wanting to stamp his own authority on this Huddersfield side back end of this year and certainly in 2013, Paul.
Well, yes, and the challenge for me for Huddersfield is pretty simple now from St Helens. We're going to kick early. We're winning the kick tennis competition so far. With the balls at your end of the field. How are you going to get off your own try line, get through this St Helens defence that's very strong and very robust, as we see right in front of our very eyes? Then how are you going to defend when we want to return the ball? For me, they've just got to be strong in the middle of the field, because St Helens just look like they can open up any time that they choose so.
It wasn't long ago we were talking about Huddersfield as possible grand finalists in 2012. That seems a long time ago now. But they're still in there, they're still in the playoff hunt, and Leeds Rhinos proved last year you can win this competition from anywhere. Maybe 7th is a little bit low, but we shall see. This is Chris Flannery, good harassing, but he gets the ball away, finds Lance O'Hire, who skips through one, gets past Crabtree, has support from Lomax, might not need him, but needs the other supporting act that arrived, and it was Josh Jones. Johnny Lomax scampers in a dummy half. Here is O'Hire again, gets it away to Wellens. They've got a man on the overlap wide. It's Makinson. Oh, wonderful try. I think he was in mid-air as he put that ball down. I don't think his foot has touched the whitewash. I think his shoulder might have caught the corner post. That doesn't matter these days. This is a great effort if it's given.
It's a try, Eddie, is for mine. He's got it down before he hits anything. And that's the most important factor. Phil Bentham is the video referee tonight. This will be an easy one for him. He just wants to check from a different angle, but there's no problem as far as I can see. He's got that down before any part of his shorts hits the whitewash.
Just checking that no part of his body touches the whitewash before the ball. And is the ball down there?
Yes, of course it is. There, simple as that. Nowhere near any whitewash. This will be TRY. But a wonderful spread across the three-quarter line. Beautiful. Missed a man out. I can't understand why they want to have a look at this 3 or 4 times. It looks quite obvious to me, but I'm not the video referee.
No, Phil Bentham is, and good to see him back on duty. And the try is given by Phil Bentham. And Tommy Makinson, the try scorer. Tries and 2 goals and a great try-saving tackle against Catalan Dragons last week for Tommy Makinson, and he's given the Saints a flying start here. They lead by 4-0, and Makinson's kick to come.
Super play by Lance O'Hire. Outstanding against the Catalan Dragons. Look at this, got the ball away, but before that, he'd made the run, thrown the dummy. It was a great finish by Makinson. But Lance O'Hire really has shown his quality over the past couple of weeks. Great finish, but the build-up, can he add the extras?
And the answer is no, he just slices it the wrong side of the post. But Makinson scored a cracking try at Headingley on the first Super League Monday that we brought you in 2012 for the Saints against the Leeds Rhinos. Got injured on that occasion. Look at this run from O'Hire.
Well, I think the speed of the play of the ball for St Helens is clearly different to that from Huddersfield, and they're marching forward quickly downfield. But Tommy Makinson, what brilliant form. Also scored and saved a brilliant try last week when they played against the Catalan Dragons. He's in outstanding form at present.
So St Helens leading here by 4 points to 0. We're in the 6th minute of the match. Just before the game and we came into the stadium, some Huddersfield fans were close by us, Steve and I posing for photographs with them, and I asked the young men that we were posing with, I said, you're going to win tonight? And they just looked at me and said no. They've travelled here with any confidence whatsoever. That's the supporters anyway.
Well, maybe that's just translated itself into the team. Well, at the start of that previous set, before Saints have scored that try, I did say I get the feeling that St Helens can score from anywhere at any time. And maybe a bold statement so early on in a game. You know, we've not got, you know, we're not privy to any rocket science. We're just having a look at the body language and that initial contact from the Huddersfield Giants against the St Helens players. From kickoff, you've got to rattle in 2-3 bodies in and send a statement, show some signals that you're really going to stop St Helens from doing exactly what they want.
And O'Hire poking his nose through again and leaving Crabtree on the floor as that play the ball was taken. Here is Flannery going wide to Melly. Melly dabs the ball forward. Everyone misses it. The ball's still been missed. The ball is still missed. Well, this is a schmozzle for James Child to try and sort out.
There's a couple of knock-ons and very, very near the goal line, but it looked slightly forward, right over on the left-hand side.
I think he's just asked for a penalty try.
Was a St Helens player taken out here?
That's a forward pass a mile.
Yeah, and they have not seen it.
They can't adjudicate on that, of course.
No, and good work by Francis Melly. He's in top form as well. Realised that he was well covered. Lomax looked as though they're going to get it. Greg Eden actually takes him out.
But he only stood his ground, Eden, didn't he?
I think Eden may have moved the shoulder.
So would you give a penalty try, Mike?
Yeah, well, it looked as though that Josh Jones was going over. It was reefed away.
I thought you could stand your ground. I thought it wasn't up to you to move out of the way. It's up to the Lomax to go round it.
I think you'll find that Greg Eden has moved. But let's see this. Yeah, goes straight across him. He doesn't even go for the ball, and that's the biggest problem. Paul Anderson will be furious at that. A full-back taking a man out when the ball was there to be taken.
Don't forget, Mike, we're slowing this down. He can't change direction that quickly.
No.
That shouldn't be a penalty try.
You've also got 3 other Huddersfield Giants in the frame, so there's no guarantee, even if he doesn't take him out, it's going to be a penalty try.
It doesn't have to be anymore. It's an opinion. It's an opinion of the video referee that a try would have been scored. That's all.
For me, that's a knock-on from Huddersfield. In the final pickup, not quite sure who gets a hand to it.
It's Scott Griggs, I think, that rips the ball away.
I think there's a knock-on just about to happen here now. There.
Yeah.
That's head and feed to St Helens for me, 10 metres out.
It would be harsh to give a penalty try. I'll agree with you with that, but the mere fact it was Griggs that got the left arm.
He reefed it out. He reefed it out and picked it up again.
Just from one of his arms to the other one, doesn't hit the ground.
No,
and he's tackled.
I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Play on. Play the ball.
What about the penalty though for Greg Eden taking the man out? Surely they've got to look at that.
Well, I think they've looked at that, and I don't think that they are going to give a penalty try, because I think they were just having a look at all that to see
penalty
this
to
game
St Helens.
I thought Michael
restarted.
Lawrence got a finger in there at some point, and that ball went forward.
First tackle to the defence, play the ball through Huddersfield, in other words.
Well, they're looking to get away with that, but as I say, the new Huddersfield coach, Anderson, will not be impressed with Greg Eden. The ball was there to be taken, and as far as I'm concerned, he definitely took Johnny Lomax out. Made a lunge with it, and the ball was on the floor.
And maybe justice, because the ball was at least, what, 2-3 metres forward.
Well, I'm sure you're not suggesting, Paul, that would play any part at all in Phil Bentham's thinking.
Absolutely not. But goodness me, you're going to feel hard done to when a ball is as clearly passed forward as that one, and you can't go back and do anything about it.
And I'm told that Phil Bentham ruled almost immediately that there was no obstruction on Johnny Lomax. All the time was taken in trying to decide and get it absolutely right how to restart the game, and it was only the last replay we saw there that made sure that Huddersfield actually had the ball legally. So well done, Phil Bentham. Although my esteemed colleague wouldn't agree.
Oh, I don't disagree, of course. As you said earlier, I have a right to my opinion, and so have they.
Here's Perry driving it forward up the middle again for Saints.
Big problem for Huddersfield in and around the play the ball area.
Steve-O will be expressing an opinion or 12 on the Super League back chat Tuesday, 10:30, Sky Sports 3 HD. That is if he allows, or Rod Studd allows him a word, because Rod never draws breath. Tuesday night for that. Really good watch. Rattling good half hour of rugby league nonsense between those two.
Just a touch too heavy there by Johnny Lomax. But they've got the tactics right, and Mike Rush will be very pleased with the opening 8.5 minutes, mainly due to the fact that the defence has been solid. As I mentioned, the Giants, they've got to really muscle up and make sure they keep an eye on the way that James Roby is just orchestrating the attack from dummy half.
Good feed from Brett Ferris. Interesting that he signed this 3.5-year deal from Castleford, allowed to go just before the signing deadline. And here he is on his debut. That's Earl Crabtree, though. He is certainly not on his debut. The only survivor in the Giants side from that cup final of 2006.
Oh, nice offload there. Brilliant. By Keith Mason.
Finds for Longo. And then it goes wide to Jason Chan.
Got to get the link working. Robinson wants it.
Cudjoe finds Robinson, who tries to duck underneath the big men. Couldn't get away, though, from John Wilkin. Got past Soliola. And off the left foot of Danny Brough. It goes high into the air. This is a tester. Whoops, off the head of Wellens, who claims he was taken out.
Well, there's certainly contact, but the James Child, the official, said play on, which was a good call as well.
Given St Helens a penalty.
You know, sometimes you come to this ground and St Helens start a game so quick that hardly anybody can cope with them, and it's one of those occasions. I remember back in May we came here, they played Leeds and scored so many points in that opening quarter that the game was effectively over. But here now, Huddersfield aren't doing a lot wrong in attack. They're controlling the ball, they're getting up to the other end of the field, but they're unable to cope with the speed.
Forward pass was ruled. Shenton thought it was over from Lafranchi's pass.
Nice move, though. You see how Shenton is coming on the angle. Just overstepped it.
You see, at that angle, it looks plainly forward.
You can't go off
on the side. No, you can't.
You can only go off the touch judge, who's in the best position. And at times we make comments from here. We clearly can't tell because of the angle we're given.
Well, the one on the other side was a forward pass, and we couldn't rule on that. That one wasn't down to us. That was down to the touch judge and the referee in the middle. And we're talking about opinions.
And you know, Eddie, whether that ball was, you know, an inch or 2 or 3 centimetres forward or not, the fact you've got a St Helens player pouring through a hole without a finger being laid on him, I think Huddersfield have just got away with one there because the ball was adjudged to have been forward.
11 minutes gone, Saints leading by 4 points to 0.
Important now the Giants keep them down. Apply that pressure, try to force the error. Haven't had many opportunities in the St Helens attacking quarter.
Good play the ball by Shenton, finds Roby, tries to spin out of trouble, but Danny Brough was alert to all of that. Wilkin and Soliola taking on Keith Mason.
Oh, on the last tackle.
Head-on shot as well. Well, Soliola runs pretty high, and Mason has been given the nod about the left swinging arm.
That wasn't it? They held them in, what, 30 metres, 5 tackles, and seemed to be controlling the white shirts for the first time in the game.
Well, they've got it all to do again here as St Helens just restart. Metre or so inside the Huddersfield half of the field. Down on the first tackle goes Lafranchi. Here's Josh Perry. Perry takes it forward another 10 metres. Roby is waiting once again. Looks for the runner, it's Lafranchi. Tries to go inside Gilmore.
Move! Wait!
Roby again. In 10 metres on every tackle, and they might make more here. They will make more here with Lomax. Beautiful hands between Lomax and Flannery. They just rolled that ball forward. Every tackle they were making 10 metres forward, and then they just sprung into action. Lomax to Flannery. Flannery back to Lomax, and Lomax over underneath the sticks. And young Johnny gets his 12th try of the season, the 2011 Young Player of the Year.
This will bring a big smile to the coach, Mike Rush, because it's a set pattern move back on the inside. Super stuff. The fellow that scored, Johnny Lomax, knew exactly when he offloaded, first of all, to Flannery. He's going to go back on the inside. Crabtree sucked into the defence, had to. Flannery offloads. Lomax says, I'll take the 4 points. Surely this will be turned into 6. Crafty play. Provider to start with, and then the finisher. Classic move.
Was a classic move, and he scored 29 goals himself this year, but young Tommy Makinson here has taken the goal-kicking responsibility away from him lately, and he makes no mistake from that in front of the posts. Makinson's 26th successful kick, and Saints lead by 10-0.
Quality. Look at that. Hesitation in defence. We saw that very early in the piece from the Giants. He'll be happy, Mike Rush. I'm not so sure that Paul Anderson will be overjoyed by the inability to read the attack. As I say, the way that James Roby, and we saw in the build-up there, how St Helens, time and time again, getting over the advantage line with considerable ease.
Noticeable from me on that. That was a completed set from the Huddersfield Giants. Made a couple of half breaks, got in a decent kick. 5 reasonable tackles, then a cheap penalty for fractionally high, fractionally. But more importantly for me, Michael Lawrence, who we know as a centre, has spent the mid part of this season in the pack, playing at either second row or at loose forward. Tonight, back in the centre, was the player then drifting outwards as St Helens were cutting back on the inside. And if you want players to improve, there's a reasonable call to keep them in the same position so they can defend the same kind of plays.
Yes, they seem to have been chopping and changing for much of the season, don't they? Looking for a bit of stability now towards the back end of 2012.
But look how quick Saints are getting on with the job. Play the ball. This is a high one from Wilkin.
It is off the left boot. Wellens is after it. Wellens claims it. Gets the ball away to Perry. Here's Francis Melly. Got to get round Griggs. Will do. Try for Melly. That's his 100th in Super League for Francis Melly. And he has been prolific against the Huddersfield Giants since 2006. That's the 11th touchdown he's come up with whenever the Saints have faced the Huddersfield Giants. And a number 100 for Melly in Super League.
Eddie, if they offer you the bowl that's full of bread, you go and snatch it, and they didn't even bother. That is very poor play by Huddersfield. Good finish though by Melik. He's in tremendous form. The high kick from Wilkin, and they allowed Paul Wellens. You should never allow that, seriously. You'll finish up starving if you don't get the opportunity to pick that bread roll out. Unbelievable.
Yes, so was all that about bread rolls, and
if it's there, take it. And
if
it
the
didn't.
bowl is full of bread, take the bread.
My word, if it's offered, take it. And they didn't. They turned it down.
You find out now about the character in this Huddersfield side. Not one of them was born the last time Huddersfield won in St Helens. The 14, possibly 16 points behind here with a quarter of the game gone. You find out really which one of them have got any fight left in them here now. There's a long time left in this match, and you need to show some spirit here. They've played quite well with the ball, but they've been unable to cope defensively. And they've got a minute or so to get their breath back here and cope with the next onslaught.
So Makinson with this opportunity to add the extras. Looks pretty good. It looks very good. And St Helens are looking good. 16 points to 0. Brian Carney's down on touchline tonight.
Yes, Eddie, and I get a very, very good view of this Huddersfield Giants side. Somebody in the commentary team with you mentioned perhaps the body language of this Huddersfield team. Looking across the field, I cannot understand for the life of me why they're in this position in the league when you look at the quality of players that they have. International players, players that have been touted as future internationals, and what a bench I've got warming up here beside me. It does seem to be that great intangible, a lack of confidence. They should be doing so much better in the league, and they should certainly be doing so much better in this game tonight. It's an inability to defend towards the end of the sets that's costing them dear.
Well, they've had so many U-turns this season, it seems. You just have to wonder how on earth they start the season off so brilliantly and end it so lamentably. But that's the job that Paul Anderson has taken on. Oh, and there's the first mistake from St Helens. It's a knock-on by Anthony Lafranchi. Now, this will give Huddersfield some field position to try and work on.
Yeah, they needed it as well. They were desperate. A lot of the players looking at each other. You can see there. Took his eyes off the ball. Did the prop forward, Lafranchi.
They're a shadow of the team, Huddersfield, that began the season with the win at Wigan, aren't they?
We spoke about the fact that, you know, this man, Danny Brough, has got, and that's a great kick.
It is a great kick for Luke George to chase. Great tackle by Makinson. Quick play the ball to Gilmore, short pass, and Mason will get over.
That's how to run onto a football. And Keith Mason, boy, did he get into top gear. It was a wonderful kick by Danny Brough.
Well, that shows what they are capable of, doesn't it? A lovely kick through. Brough thinking all the time, dabbed it in behind the defence. George was on his way. Makinson hauled him down. Quick play the ball. And then two ex-Saints, Gilmore and Mason combining, and Mason ploughing through the defence and scoring the try. Inventive, this.
Certainly, we made the pact, didn't we, that Danny Brough, give him the opportunity, and he can take it. George did well, but look how you come on, express train. Whoa! It was great defence to get back. Got to give Makinson his due for that. I want it. He was shouting for it, and he's got it.
Gives him something to build on, and Brough manages to add the extras as well. So 16-0 just 60 seconds ago, 16-6 now.
Well, they've got the best trick shots in Super League. Now they've got to mix it with some bread and butter here for the rest of the game. And when St Helens have the ball, try and somehow control them and play at their pace. The ball isn't bouncing for Huddersfield at the moment. If it was, Luke George scores from that play. But they did well enough to score on the next one, and it's given them some life and hope now for the rest of this match.
I'll tell you what, Phil, there'll be a remarkable statistic. How many times in a game does the player who makes the mistake miss the tackle for the try being scored? Lafranchi gives a really cheap ball away, and it's his job then really to front up on Keith Mason on the try line. Just stands there and lets Shenton take the full force of it.
Well, to be fair, I don't think a brick wall would stop the way that Keith Mason was going to. That was wonderful to watch. Got to be a knock on.
It's the try scorer who has come up with the mistake.
You put the mocker on him, Paul.
Do you think he'll miss the tackle now for the next St Helens try? I honestly don't know. Well, Phil was absolutely right. You know, they were presented with a gift. They were outstanding. They've executed a great try. You've now got to complete a set. You can't complain to the referee. You're duty-bound to keep hold of that ball, complete a set, get behind a good, positive Danny Brough kicking game as opposed to the cheap trick shot from play one from a tap set. Scrum set.
Well, another glorious opportunity for St Helens here to add to their score. Lafranchi driving it in. Ferris is there, so too is Crabtree. Roby scheming 10 metres out. Attacks the line, gives it to Lomax, gives it then to Wellens. He spins away from Grix, who missed the tackle, but Mason and company didn't.
Good job they didn't either, because the fact you come out of your line, and that was Scott Grix, nearly left it. Oh, higher!
No, Darren, has he dropped that? Has he dropped that? That's what James Child wants to check. Just the grounding. Ohio just ghosted through them. Hardly laid a hand on him. Now this is important. Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, gets it down, okay. Just he got it down so quickly that it just brushed away. No problem as far as I'm concerned, and I'm sure that Phil Bentham will agree with me. Now he wants to make sure. Yeah, finger control, that's all you need. Downward pressure. Ohio is in fine form. He did that against the Catalans, and he's done it here tonight.
Try from Lance Ohio. It seems that tries follow mistakes in this match. And Lance Ohio comes up with his sixth of the season. Man of the match. Appearance last year against the Catalan Dragons in a great run of form, isn't he?
Yeah.
Case for a penalty there against Lafranchi, do you think?
Well, Anthony Lafranchi wasn't making any movement to release him, and then I think he got the elbow to it, but this is poor defence. Take nothing away from the little shimmy and the dummy from Lance Ohio, but you can't take him like that, not when you're so close to your own goal line. He's happy, Mike Rush, he's every right to be, because he knows that the New Zealander Lance Ohio is in fine form. Man of the match against the Catalans.
And Mike Rush describes himself as a self-confessed St Helens fanatic. That's why he always leads the applause, wears his heart on his sleeve unashamedly. But Makinson's added the extras to Ohio's try. 22 points to 6.
Well, you're helped if you have the ball, and Saints have had more of it than Huddersfield. They've had it at a great part of the field, which allows players like Lance Ohio to show how explosive you need to be a player in Super League. When the gap's there, you need your brain to tell your muscles to move fast, and he certainly did at that point.
This is a night for scoring tries, isn't it? The sun shining down as it sets here in the northwest of England. Been dry most of the day. We had a few showers last night, but been dry most of the day. These are St Helens conditions.
Eddie, if I can just go back for a second on my comments about making mistakes and being the man who misses the tackle. Slight change of process on that. It was Keith Mason at second marker on the try line then. Most teams these days, defending inside the 10, only go with one marker. Keith Mason stays at second marker. The line's thin because the one man short, and they get on the outside of Big Earl Crabtree. Be one worth for John to have a look at half-time maybe.
Well, Jason Chan went very, very high there.
Luke George collects the kick downfield.
Oh, that was a sandwich, wasn't it?
Shenton and Soliola.
Well, Soliola, as I said earlier, has put himself about. You just get the feeling now, Eddie, that this St Helens side, they really are getting into the swing of things, as we mentioned earlier. A few problems early in the season.
Little Luke got a bit of a clatter there, didn't he, from Anthony Lafranchi. Just had a rueful look at the referee, James Child. Penalty to St Helens. It's moving off the mark, is it?
No, he grabbed his leg.
Oh, he did too.
Sheer frustration. This fella, Danny Brough, he thought that he should have got a penalty in the first place. Silly play. Just didn't like the attack earlier in the piece. Well, maybe the knee might have been in, and he pulls him over. So it'll be a penalty.
Third penalty for St Helens in the match. They've only had 3, they've had the lot. It's not helping the Huddersfield cause at the moment. Roby waits. Red alert for danger for the Giants again here. Lafranchi driving forward.
Soliola looking for the inside angle run.
Lomax, O'Hare, back it goes to Wellens, and Wellens still on his feet, still on his knees, and now held up on his back. That's good defence by Eden and Brough. Shenton trying to pinch one himself, and he is held up over the try line. They'll take it back 10 metres further back to the line, and then the tackle count will continue.
Great work by Danny Brough to shoot tackles there. Preventing them getting the ball down.
Here's Lomax now.
Oh, that was forward.
It's the last one coming up for the Saints. Roby scheming, looking left, right, and right behind him. Gives it to Louis McCarthy. Scarsbrook has a habit of scoring against them. I think he's done it again here. The try's given without reference upstairs. Tries home and away against the Giants last year, and both of those were in front of our cameras. He's come up with a unique hat-trick in this fixture, has Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook, and it doesn't get any easier for the Giants, and it doesn't get any easier for new coach Paul Anderson. Beaten last week at home by the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats, who we'll see tomorrow against the champions, and on their way to a second defeat under Anderson's control here at the Langtree Stadium tonight, Langtree Park.
Well, it was great struggling defence there to keep them at bay, but let's not forget the silly penalty that Danny Brough had given away to allow the Saints to get into this position. That is a good second effort by the prop forward. Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook, he really should have been stopped on the third occasion. They did it on 1 and 2, but when this big fella came through, not impressed Paul Anderson. He knows the job of trying to not only get the confidence back into the Giants, but also getting their defence sorted out.
Make it and add the extras. I think it might be a bridge too far for anyone this year for Huddersfield. They're sliding out of playoff contention here.
And if you just look at the substitutions that were in the build-up to that previous try, McCarthy Scarsbrook on the field to replace Josh Perry. No rocket science, prop for prop swap. However, with the Huddersfield Giants, David Fayolongo, usually an edge strike second row forward, playing at loose forward, has been replaced by David Fayumu. Middle unit, loose forward. He is a hooker by trade. You know, it's Saints are keeping this straightforward, keeping it very, very simple, and it's obviously working for them.
28-6, 28 minutes gone. St Helens going at a point a minute. Roby, Wilkin, Soliola drives the ball in, doesn't he, with some force, this big fella.
David Fayumu felt that as well.
Wilkin short,
Going to be a penalty, surely. He utilised him as a shepherd. Certainly went across his line.
I think he stopped behind him and went the other way, put the reverse lights on, didn't he? Here's Wilkin. Let's have another look at it. This is the referee's view. Yeah, no, he didn't go behind him. Just managed to put the brakes on. O'Hare with the kick. And Leroy Cudjoe now will try and bring it forward.
Good play by Cudjoe as well. Anticipated the kick there. He dropped back. See that Greg Eden position, but this is the biggest problem for the Giants at the moment. They cannot get anywhere near the halfway line. This Saints defence has got solid as the season has gone on.
And just look at that, only 6 play the balls for Huddersfield in St Helens half.
Well, a simple plan for them is to give the ball to Huddersfield to start the set inside their own half. In fact, the last time Huddersfield started the set in Saints half, they scored a try from it. Pretty simple, and they've denied them any field position.
Something on here maybe, as Ferris just juggles with it, just lost a little bit of momentum, allowed Lomax and Shenton to come in, make the tackle. Last tackle here for Huddersfield, left-footed from Brough. Nice bounce, finds Lawrence, here's Grix, try for Huddersfield. Lucky bounce, try for Grix, try for Huddersfield. This game could have as many points as you wish in it, the way this has gone in the opening half hour.
Well, the first try came from the Brough kick as well. And it's come again from the halfback. Scott Griggs finishes up. We mentioned the point that Huddersfield didn't go for the ball. It was a good kick from Bruff. It split the winger and the full back, Paul Wellens, and Scott Griggs. Lawrence did ever so well. Knew that there would be support on the inside, like any rugby league player should do. He read it extremely well, but St. Helens paid the price of allowing that ball to bounce.
And he's marked his 70th appearance for Huddersfield with that try. It was just a sort of a waft of the left foot, wasn't it, by Bruff, but it found the mark, and the ball had a horrible bounce from a St. Helens point of view. Perfect for the Giants, 28-12.
Yeah, and it was a kick that we call a spiral. You know, they kick it at the end of the apex of the ball, and it just wobbles all over the joint. And that can produce a bounce that it did. That's great support play there by Scott Griggs.
Pulled back in his last two. Last try came in the last win against London in June. He's playing standoff for the first time in a month tonight, is Scott Griggs. 31 minutes gone, 28-12. I think we're in for an entertaining night. I think there's going to be bags of points in this. There already has been. Brian.
Eddie got a very good look at that Danny Bruff kick. We know how good he is at his torpedo bombs. Hits them very, very cleanly, gets them very high, and they're difficult to take. St. Helens on that occasion put an awful lot of pressure on Danny Bruff. He was not able to get the kick he wanted away. In fact, he mishit that ball, but it worked out in their favour. Looked favourable bounce to Michael Lawrence on the spot. So maybe the little bit of luck that Huddersfield needed in that game. Danny Bruff's kick, not the one he wanted, but got the result he wanted.
That should be back to 6. It was touch, wasn't it?
Well, it was, but there's no signal from the referee. The tackle count continues. They were contesting a ball on the floor, St. Helens there. There was definitely a Saints hand in it. It's the last tackle. They're only on halfway. Another kick from Bruff. Yes, this time up and over the top of Makinson. And that will, I was going to say it will stand in the in-goal area, and exactly what it does. And a good follow-up by Bruff.
That was brilliant by Danny Bruff. You could see it had the backspin as soon as it left his boot. That was no fluke on that occasion.
I always think, Eddie, when you get your scrum half chasing and making tackles like Danny Bruff did then, that usually gives an example to the rest of the team to get back on side, get up quickly and try and put their opponents down. If the scrum half starts to defend well, then the rest of the team usually follow.
Jones goes down.
Four very good tackles there. Yeah, 4 very good tackles from the Huddersfield Giants. Roby kicks a little bit early. Finds grass, which is a real positive from that field position, and a very solid St. Helens chase. So the Giants just, probably for the first time in 30 minutes, get themselves involved in what we call the arm wrestle. That's completing sets, getting behind a good kick, defending well on the back of it, and not giving a penalty away.
And it's not often in this first half that they have begun a set of 6 inside St. Helens territory, but here they come now with Griggs again. They go wide and find Eden, and it's opened up for Eden, and he gets the ball away back to Griggs. Does brilliantly well then to keep this movement going, but so too does Josh Jones. He was alert to the danger. He got Griggs to the ground. It's now with Bruff again, and Bruff showed it and then gave it to Fayumu, and he goes down. Tommy Lee is out there, so too Lee Gilmore. He's stopped dead in his tracks by those two. Shenton and Lomax. There's Lee. Here is Bruff. High kick again, looking for the big man over there, but only finds Melly. Melly was looking to offload because he knew there was space up the other end there. It could easily have been a 90-metre try for the Saints.
Well, we know they're capable of doing that, but not sure that Mike Russ, the coach, would have been impressed if Francis Melly had been under a lot of pressure. This is where you want to take it and say, I want to keep it, play the ball, don't take the risk. Not when you've got a lead of 28 points to 12.
Yes, it looked like they were coasting it, didn't they? But a try has, the second try has sparked a bit of life for the Huddersfield Giants. Good tackle that. Good tackle on O'Hire. Could have been a penalty against Lon Patrick.
Should have been a penalty. Took an age, as that's a poor kick. Good position though, isn't it?
Yes, here comes George.
Well, it's really sparked up this Giants outfit, hasn't it? 10 minutes passage of play. They really have brought themselves back into this game. They know and they realise if they can get another try before half time, just to set the alarm bells off in the heads of the home side.
Indeed, it would really spice it up, wouldn't it, from a neutral point of view. Good work, though, by Lomax in defence on Brett Ferris. Plays the ball to Luke George. And Brough with a little dink over the top, but there was no way past Soliola, and Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook just tidied things up.
I'll tell you what, Danny Brough tried to calm the referee there. He deliberately went for Soliola.
You're just never going to get a more clear example of Huddersfield not being prepared to do the hard yards, the hard yakka, complete, get a good kick in, chase, defend on the back of it, and not give away penalties. I know Danny Brough has had 2 successes with his kicks for the 2 Huddersfield tries, but I don't know whether a chip kick for himself was the right thing for them. You know, fortuitously, I think they're going to get the ball back from this set. I don't know, another Danny Brough kick might just produce something a little bit outside the box. I just thought that was a perfect chance to go for another long kick from Danny Brough and just test St Helens to get back into this arm wrestle.
Well, they've got by Roby.
Yeah, they've got the opportunity. I'm not so sure there wasn't a hand in there, but either way, the visitors will get this opportunity. As you say, the tactics by Paul Anderson in ensuring that Danny Brough controls things with his kicking game. Wellens is not dropping back. He knows the wily Brough can go for the little chip over.
Oh, that was forward. And this is Jason Chan. Good tackle by Wellens. Quick play, the ball needed by Huddersfield. They've got it. It's Fayumu, floats it wide to the left to Brough. Further wide to Ferris. And Ferris is spun to the ground by scrambling St Helens defenders.
Good work by Johnny Lomax. Had to get back there for the big fella Ferris.
Tommy Lee pops the ball up again, and Mason hits that at pace. Or is it Lon Patrick? They look very similar, those two. It was Lon Patrick, there was Lee, this is Brough, and that was for the touch judge. The touch judge didn't buy it. He knows he's made an error there, Danny Brough.
Yeah, I was hoping that George was going to be in that position, but you could see he's pretty quick as a winger. But it wasn't the best pass.
Lance, previous kick to the corner, just watch a block.
He's not going to get them all right, but he's showing some spirit, and I think if his teammates can back him up here now with some defence,
nice and tight, guys.
he seems to be in the mood here to want to play tonight, and if he does, we've seen how they've unlocked St Helens on the other side of the field to get down here. They've got some more points in them. They've certainly got some points in them, but can they defend well enough now in the remaining 42 minutes and a half to win this game?
George was a little bit behind the play there.
Yeah,
we don't want to be critical of Luke, and we don't want to really be, too nice to Danny Brough. But you know what I mean.
The thing is, Eddie, is that we often criticise wingers from actually trying to be in front rather than coming onto the ball. Yeah. He did neither.
2 minutes to the half-time siren, and Wilkin takes it forward again for St Helens. Wilkin, captain of England against the Exiles at Huddersfield.
Great work by Roby. How many years has he done that? Got him into a good position. They'll be quite happy to put the bomb in.
Lomax will do exactly that. Crossfield, high and hanging. Flick back. St Helens have loaded out down that left-hand side. He just went in front of Jones. Finds its way to Melly, though. Oh, the referee's wiped the tackle count clean. They didn't hear that. I heard him say back to 1 then.
Well, Melly didn't hear it.
Well, he hasn't got the squeak that we have on the referee's microphone.
He's going to give them the ball again, though, here, ready from the scrum. Says no advantage. Now, is that an advantage, playing and passing it?
Well, once they pass it, isn't that advantage over?
Well, it's obviously deemed that Danny Brough has got a fingertip to it.
It's obviously a scrum to St Helens for a knock-on by Huddersfield, but there's no knock-on there.
No. Wellens knocks it back. I think it's got Danny Brough.
There? Was that it? Was it a flick off Leroy Cudjoe?
I think you'll find that Danny Brough gets the finger to it on the inside. Maybe not.
I don't know how he's got that. Looking at it again.
Either way,
because he
only
has the
pressure.
one chance to look at it, to be fair to James Child. We have numerous and different angles. Anyway, it's academic now, because here is Paul Clough, 5 metres from the line in the last minute before the half-time siren. Wilkin, and he finds Lomax. Lomax looking to skip his way through. That door was quickly closed.
Can't afford to take a dummy, the Huddersfield defence. Got to mark up man on man.
Oh, it's Soliola, he's a big man, and he's so close to the line, but well done, the Giants defenders. Ferris was amongst them. They held him up just short.
We'll go with this.
Roby, O'Hare stabs the ball to the in-goal area, and it's grounded in goal by Greg Eden. He did well.
Certainly read it exceptionally well, did the fullback Greg Eden. Nice little dink through as well by Lance O'Hare.
There's the little flick by Leroy Cudjoe. It was him. That's why the referee gave head and feet at the scrum to Saints. But I honestly thought that once they passed the ball in this game, that was advantage taken and over.
Now then, this is going to be interesting. We'll be blowing the hooter.
Well, we all jumped. That's about 2 foot from us. Half time. Half time, and